Hello, UC Davis personnel. Within the Cayuse Research Suite, professional profiles are where you can enter your personal information that gets automatically populated into proposals in both Cayuse SP and Cayuse 424. So to get to where you can manage your professional profiles, starting from the Cayuse Research Suite main page, which is located at ucdavis.cayuse424.com, you go into Cayuse 424. As you likely know, Cayuse 424 is the submission system used to submit proposals to most federal sponsors. So in the top toolbar there, you select People. Now, in the People tab, if you've recently viewed your professional profile, you could just click on your name there and open it up immediately. But I want to show you the search feature. So to find my name, and I am logged in as Gary Imaginary for this example, and Gary Imaginary is my professional profile. So to find myself, I would type in my last name, but before clicking search, I would want to limit the search to just this institution. You see there are a large number of institutions, and a search institutions can take some time. So UC Davis is found actually under for the Regents of the University of California, Davis. So now I've selected that, and it'll speed the search, which on some computers can take a while. And sure enough, there I am, Gary Imaginary. Now, if you were looking for somebody at UC Davis and they didn't show up in a search, you could try a different spelling, or you could look through all institutions. Maybe they're still affiliated with a previous institution. If they still didn't show up and you wanted to make sure they had a professional profile, what you would do at that point is you would send an email or have them send an email to orcayusehelp@ucdavis.edu and provide as much of this information as you can: their first and last name, their Kerberos username, their UC Davis email address. Sometimes these are slightly different from one another, their department, and whether or not they will be submitting as a principal investigator at some point. And that way we can create that profile and then inform that individual that the profile has been created on their behalf. So that's for someone at UC Davis, because doing it this way allows them access to the Cayuse system to use it to submit through it. If you want to add someone who is not at UC Davis, say they are part of a subaward, so you need to put them in an application, but they're not going to be accessing Cayuse. So at that point, you can click plus person in the top right here. And when you do that, you just follow the prompts to create their new profile, and then you can add them in Cayuse proposals. So now let's open up Gary Imaginary's profile, and you can see there are a number of sections to a profile. But before I walk you through those, I want to show you how someone could delegate access to you, so that you could edit their proposal on their behalf. And so to do that, have them come to their professional profile the same way we just did, by going through the Cayuse Research Suite to Cayuse 424, then selecting People in the top toolbar, and then searching for their name. Once they get to this page, they can select Permissions in the top right, and they can give you permissions. So in this example, I wanted to add Charlie, but he's already there. So I'll show you, you click Add User, and then the person's last name. And then from the search results, you find the individual you're looking for, and then you close, and now you can add checkboxes to give that other individual or you the permission to edit the profile. All right, so now we're going to go back, and I'm going to walk you through all the sections of a professional profile. In the first name section here, you can change the name by selecting Rename in the top right. You can also enter your NIH Commons ID or your NSF ID. And like everything else here, it gets auto-populated into applications in Cayuse SP or 424. You can ignore the NASA sections because NASA now uses NSPIRES for proposal submission. and we can no longer use Cayuse 424. So in the degrees section, you can enter all of your degree information. Demographics, UC Davis doesn't collect or distribute this information, so we recommend you just ignore this section. And Biosketches, while you can add a biosketch and it will be added to a proposal, the Sponsor Programs Office recommends you don't use this mechanism, that you add an updated biosketch for each proposal that you do. And if you just put it in here, you might forget that it's out of date. So we don't recommend you use this. So here we can see that Gary Imaginary is affiliated with the UC Davis Cinema and Digital Media Department. And Gary has a dual appointment. He's also affiliated with another department, and he knows that the grant that he's about to submit, he doesn't want it to go through the Cinema and Digital Media Department for approval. That would be a mistake, and it might delay the routing of his proposal in Cayuse SP. So to change that, you wouldn't want to click this red X, because that'll remove your affiliation with UC Davis. Instead, to change your department, you go down to this section here, Department Division Title. And here's where you can select the other department. So let's say that my other department is in the College of Ag Ecology. So I select that. You can see it's updated here. And whenever you make an update in the professional profiles, you should click the little save icon up here by your name. And now you can see that my unit has been changed to ecology. Another thing you can add on the department division title page is your position title right here. And as I said, you can ignore the NASA section. So if someone is affiliated with UC Davis and they want to submit through another organization other than UC Davis, they could select the plus symbol here and have another institution added. You could feasibly add another UC Davis unit that way. So you have two, and then you would have to select whichever one you are going to route through. So just as an example here, I'm going to go back and find the cinema and digital media. So now Gary Imaginary is affiliated with two different units. He just has to make sure that the application is routing through the correct one. And you can make edits to the proposal to make that selection there. Okay, so continuing on through, let's take a look at the contact info section. Here's the contact info that you would want a sponsor to contact you at. ERA role, this is important if you want to be able to be selected in Cayuse as a principal investigator. You have to have the checkbox selected here. Otherwise, if you're, say, a department administrator just helping PIs, you can click on assistant. Those are the only two options. Everything else here is grayed out and is for sponsor program staff only. Moving on down, the salary and fringe worksheet. If you enter your employee ID during the next system update, your appointment type, salary, and benefits will automatically be populated here. And if there is a change at a later point to your appointment type, salary, or benefits, that change will be automatically made at that time. So as long as the employee ID was selected. Alternatively, you can just enter this information manually here. The last section in a professional profile is the performance site. This is where the work is going to be done. And if you think it'll speed things up, you can click this box up here, fill from contact or org. It'll take whatever info you entered as your contact info and populate it here, and then you can make manual updates. At the bottom here, if you want to enter UC Davis's unique entity identifier, DUNS, or congressional district, you can find all of that information on a UC Davis website created by the Sponsor Programs Office. It's at research.ucdavis.edu/aboutus with a hyphen between the two, /institutional information with a hyphen between the two. And that page is helpful. You may want to bookmark it And you can see here the DUNS number, the UEI number, anything else that you might need from UC Davis. So I hope this was helpful. And in this example, I'm just going to remove this ecology here. So now everything is back to the way it was when we started. All right. Thank you for your time.